Boss Rush 820 Day 4. So this one's actually a pretty good day, and it's pretty farmable. We got Coral Elemental as the first boss, which we last had on 700 Day 2. So I'll link the video to 700 Day 2 in the description so you can see what we did the last time we had this boss. And all the bosses after that are artillery strikeable. However, the second boss is Garrosh. So Garrosh has the add that gives divine shields to all the allies whenever they take damage. So when you artillery strike him, you really need to one-shot him. And he has 290 hit points. So if you have less than 290 damage artillery strike, you're going to definitely want to bring Rogers and ensure that your Rogers is positioned before all of your other artillery strike mercenaries in your party order. So I've got a couple comps here. The first one is Deathwing comp with the new Deathwing Rattlegore combo that we've been using. This one is not ideal because you do end up with Rattlegore alive at the end to mess up your artillery strike odds, plus your 2 artillery strikes. But the comp for that one's going to be Elise with Monkey's Paw. Also, you can run Khadgar in this slot, so it's your choice, Khadgar or Elise, and that would be Khadgar with his Blizzard equipment, or Elise with Monkey's Paw. Arfus with Downward Dog, Rattlegore with Rattling Bones. Equipment on Deathwing does not matter. I've just got the Demon Soul on here. Rogers, again, equipment shouldn't really matter. I've just got the Scout Spyglass, and same thing with Genn, with Golem Strength. The other comp here is the same one that we ran on 700 Day 2, so this is sort of the standard Coral Elemental composition, and for this one you're going to want to try to hit no neutral attack when you fight it, and ideally a low nature anomaly. And the comp for that one is Elise with Monkey's Paw, Khadgar with Bitter Chill, Genn with Gilnean Strength, and then equipments on these other artillery strike mercs doesn't really matter, but I've got the Scout Spyglass, Round of Drinks, and Briny Bracers. If you have trouble, like say you haven't invested in Deathwing, and you have trouble with your Elise dying prematurely on this fight before you can get a monkey out or anything, because of nature anomaly and everything, and that continuing to rise as we go up in levels, Amphindel has also made a video of another comp, and I'll link that in the description as well. He was doing some stuff with Cookie and Varden to scale damage throughout the fight after his Elise dies early in the fight. So if you want another maybe more budget friendly option, if you have invested in Varden, I'll link that down in the description and you can check that one out as well. So let me jump into it here with this Deathwing comp. So the reason it's Elise or Khadgar is you only need to AoE root on turn 1, and then we have the Arfus slow, so we get the combo off before they get to act on turn 2. So it doesn't really matter which one you use here, you just need to AoE root them. I don't think there's any way that they kill Elise. Like, I don't think you can use Entangling Roots on turn 1 because it has a cooldown. So it doesn't really matter if you have low hit points here. You do need a target that's got enough attack to kill Arfus. So if none of these had an attack anomaly, you could shoot your Bone Flame at your Arfus as well, just to help ensure that he dies. But in my case, I would need a higher level Bone Flame to guarantee that. But that's just one potential problem. I think almost always, though, there's one attack anomaly, so you'll probably have something to swing into with Arfus. So it's just root and kill Arfus. I guess Blizzard, maybe Khadgar is better than Elise just because that animation is slower. Because it like shoots a nature animation at every enemy. Blizzard's just one AoE. So minor improvement, just use Khadgar. I brought Elise because she doesn't get as much, get to see as much action, so I decided to bring her instead. And then turn 2, everybody's slowed here, so you just destroy all life, and then you're good to go. And then you can either watch these animations, or you can just restart your client. I'm just going to restart the client. You can see the combo starting here. And then I'm just going to close that and reopen it. And then we should log back into the treasure selection screen, and we've got 2 artillery strikes and 1 non with the Rattlegore left over. So pretty good odds. And there we go. And we hit the double. And so keep in mind, 290 HP, and you need to one-shot him. So if you got less than 290, you would need your Rogers to hit that artillery strike and be earliest in the party order, so that blue one goes off first. You can see those shields popping up there. So that's why you need that blue or 290 base. Might have said 390 there. It's 290. Okay, just collecting our 205 renown here, and then we'll show the next comp. This is the fastest way to beat it. It makes it a decent farm. Unfortunately, so it would have maybe been possible to squeeze in another artillery strike with this comp, but I couldn't really find a way to do it because you don't have anybody that can AoE root on turn 1 and turn 2, and if you try to just let them swing at you with your first turn mercenaries, and you use, like, say, Rattlegore, who's supposed to be survivable. The problem is that Rattlegore, if he gets hit by Apex Predator, he just keeps respawning, and they keep hitting him with Apex Predator, and so you'll end up losing your Rattlegore on turn 1. So you can't just do, or on turn 2 for that matter. So you can't just do anything where you like throw out Rattlegore with 2 disposable mercs, and then have just like let them swing at you or anything. So I couldn't find a great way to squeeze in that extra artillery strike mercenary there. Okay, if this menu will load. Alright, so now we'll go with the normal old comp here. So this is just AoE roots every turn, get out a golden monkey, and then kill off your Elise Khadgar by the end of the fight. So again, if you had to put your Rogers early in the party order for Garrosh with this comp, you would have to put it in this slot, so you'd have to manually place your mercenaries here instead of just hitting go, because you'd want to bring out Genn instead of Rogers here. But you do need Rogers first in the party order if you're below 290 on artillery strike. Okay, so we just root Hearthfire and do some damage here. And you're really looking for no attack anomaly on the Coral Elemental. If you do get an attack anomaly, it's probably worth re-rolling, because the fight's much more difficult when this deals a bunch of damage. Low nature anomaly is also good. I didn't even pay attention to what mine is, so hopefully it's not too bad. I'm just going to do a heal here. Now we're just rooting every turn with Khadgar. We're going to try to get a monkey out, and I like to have at least 1 taunt in play. Whether you get a second taunt out kind of depends on whether or not you think you'll get a second monkey. So I'm just going to shoot at these. So if you get a second monkey out, then you need the board space. So just keeping like 1 taunt is usually good. If you're going to just kill them before you get to the second monkey, you can go ahead and get a second Genn summon out. That second Genn summon will also give you more spell power until you get to the second monkey. I'm just going to do the heal here. Root. I'll go ahead and get the second one of these out. And if you've already gotten your monkey out, and you know you're not going to get a second one, you can go ahead and kill off your Elise whenever you feel like it. Go ahead and swing here. Whenever you swing with these, it happens before the root. So any damage you deal to him makes him swing back at you an extra time. So you will take a little bit of extra damage if you swing into the Coral Elemental. Just keep that in mind. I just want to get rid of the Coral Elemental here. The only dangerous thing that can happen is like entangling roots from the Elemental here. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and kill Elise off now. Even though we are close to a second monkey. Oh right, she got healed from Genn, so she's gonna need another swing or shot from one of my guys. I'll go ahead and swing here, root. And I want to soften up my Khadgar a bit. And it shouldn't really matter who I bring out here.
Stone by stone, the Stormwind shall fall.
Alright, so I'm going to shoot my own Khadgar and root. Alright, same thing, shooting Khadgar a bit and rooting. Then we're just about ready to finish him off here. So you can't Archmage Nova and shoot yourself, or it will, the Arcane Surge will happen first, and then you don't get the Blizzard afterwards. So you just want to Blizzard. And then I'm going to go ahead and kill off Khadgar. And we're just going to finish them off next turn. Okay, so that should be enough to kill it. This is a speed up, not a slowdown, so I can't use that. So you could bring Ship's Bell there if you wanted to be able to use this for your cleanup. But it doesn't really matter. So that's the normal standard root comp. And as I said, if you're having trouble keeping like your Elise alive or have any other issues with the comp, check out that video from Anfendel, who also did the fight with a Cookie Barden comp. And this comp obviously has space for more mercenaries, so if you wanted to bring anything else along with Elise Khadgar to help them out, and then kill them off by the end of the fight, you obviously have lots of slots for artillery strike mercenaries, and you don't need all 4 of them, especially if your artillery strike's high enough level. So as long as you end with 2 artillery strike mercenaries and no other non-artillery strikes, you can do whatever you want with those extra 2 party slots. So if you wanted to cut Edwin and Eudora in this case, then you could bring whoever helps you with the first fight. So some examples for that could be like someone that can freeze to prevent Coral Elemental from casting Entangling Roots at you. You could bring like Bonsomdi and use him to deal a Vanity and redirect a Entangling Roots to himself whenever that happens. So there's a couple options there. You could even use like Reno and use the Spell Taunt on Entangling Roots. So you could run like Elise Khadgar, Reno, Bonsomdi, and have 2 opportunities to redirect an Entangling Root, so maybe that gets you through the fight or something, and then have 2 artillery strikes left at the end. So there are some other options if you do need a bit of extra help to get through that fight. I haven't really fully thought about super budget versions if you were to start getting your Elise killed, but those are some options. I like the Deathwing one because it just gets it over with quickly. And then you can either farm with that Deathwing comp on day 4 or the Deathwing comp on day 1. They're both very good. So I guess the day 1 is a bit better if you have enough Drekthar Arcane resistance here and enough damage on your Deathwing. Then you end up with Rattlegore plus 3 artillery strikes instead of Rattlegore plus 2 like you would have on this day 4 comp. So the day 1 farm is probably still better than the day 4 farm, but the day 4 one's decent. So there's your comps, and good luck on your runs.